initial season was one of the most disappointing in football. The Jaguars went from a promising 6-2 start to a 3-6 finish, dropping from contenders for the AFC's #1 seed to missing the playoffs entirely. The Jaguars are not making drastic changes, but there is a pressure this offseason to get the franchise back on track. It's playoff or bust in 2024. Much of that will depend on how well the Jaguars manage their offseason move. The Jaguars have had an offseason where they added onto this offense and made it a whole lot stronger compared to what it was. The Jaguars offseason in general is going under the radar as they made some solid additions that immediately make this team better. They started that off right away in the draft when they selected wide receiver from LSU, Brian Thomas Jr. Thomas is one of the largest and fastest receivers in the entire draft, clocking a 4.33 40-yard dash at the combine. In 2023, he had a very good season in the SEC, averaging 17.3 yards per catch and scoring 17 touchdowns. He brings to the Jaguars something they haven't had since Allen Robinson II, a player capable of winning 50-50 balls and serving as a major red zone threat. The Jaguars haven't found much success throwing end zone fade routes in recent seasons, but this is likely to change with Thomas. He recorded 10 touchdown catches on go or fade routes last season. That's the second highest in FBS after Rome Odunze. At LSU last season, Thomas had 12 touchdown catches on passes of at least 20 yards downfield. That was the highest number by any FBS player in a single season since ESPN Stats and Information started tracking air yards in 2011. The Jaguars signed wide receiver Gabe Davis to a 3-year deal back in March. Him along with Thomas will be the starting outside receivers. Christian Kirk will play in the slot while tight end Evan Ingram will move around the formation. This does raise questions about Zay Jones' future as he is in the final year of his contract and is coming off a season where he missed 8 games due to knee injuries. Brian Thomas Jr. is a tall, well-built perimeter wideout with excellent ball tracking skills. While not extremely explosive, he excels at winning off the line, whether to the inside or outside, using his physical play style. He has some agility and elusiveness that make him effective after the catch, with surprising agility for a taller receiver. His deceptive long speed and build-up speed often catch defensive backs off guard. He has the ability to high point the ball and consistently make catches over his shoulder or in traffic. Malik Neighbors and Rome Odunze. However, this should not be taken as a sign of weakness. At 21 years old, he is coming off a second-team All-SEC season where he led FBS with 17 receiving touchdowns. Thomas was a reliable target for Heisman Trophy winner Jaden Daniels. He recorded 68 receptions and 1,177 receiving yards in his breakout senior year. From the start, he will be a solid deep threat in an NFL offense with the potential to develop into a top wide receiver in the league. They excelled by trading down from the original first-round spot and still securing a top wide receiver prospect. This was crucial after Calvin Ridley's departure to a divisional rival in free agency. If Thomas proves to be a missing piece for a consistent passing game, this will go as a very successful selection. Acquiring another receiver for Trevor Lawrence was a top priority, and they may have landed the best option available for them. Thomas has the potential to become a standout deep threat in the NFL, like I said. With his speed, size, and ball tracking skills, he could become a significant challenge for defenses if he develops well. In his first year, his role might overlap with Gabe Davis, but Thomas will enter the NFL as one of the league's top athletes, which is a valuable asset. The Jaguars needed to improve this offense during this offseason because they regressed a ton last year. They had one of the league's least efficient running games and an offensive coordinator who seemed mismatched, all contributed to the NFL's 13th ranked total offense, which honestly is a lot better than most would think. The Jaguars this offseason brought in Gabe Davis and put the tag on one of the best pass protectors in the game, Josh Allen. The Jaguars also made 2 signings this free agency that helped this team out a ton. They signed safety Darnell Savage from the Green Bay Packers on a 3-year deal, and kick return specialist Devin Duvernay from the Baltimore Ravens on a 2-year contract. As for Davis, he showcased his potential with standout performances in crucial games over his 4 seasons with the Bills. However, his production lacked consistency. While he recorded 45 receptions for 746 yards and 7 touchdowns in 2023, he made it clear in the postseason that he would explore free agency opportunities. Davis, who will turn 25 on April 1st, had his most statistically impressive season in 2022. That season, he recorded 836 yards on 48 receptions from 93 targets. He averaged 17.4 yards per catch. Selected by the Bills in the 4th round of the 2020 NFL Draft, David records an impressive career average of 17.3 yards per catch. That's the highest of any player since his draft year. Savage, who played the last season under the 5th-year option, his rookie contract with the Packers, he started 10 regular season games but missed 7 due to calf and shoulder injuries. Returning for the final 2 regular season games and playoffs, the 26-year-old made a significant impact. A memorable one was the 64-yard interception return for a touchdown in the wild-card victory against the Dallas Cowboys. Savage has started 69 regular season games since he was drafted as the 21st overall pick in the 2019 draft. His standout season was in 2020, where he achieved career highs in tackles with 75, interceptions with 4, and pass breakups with 12. Duvernay, who served as the Ravens' primary return specialist for 4 seasons, had averages of 12.6 yards per punt return, and then he averaged 19.3 yards per kickoff return in 2023. With 2 career kickoff return touchdowns to his name, he also contributed 27 receptions for 898 yards and 5 touchdowns over his career. This gives Trevor Lawrence another weapon he can look for in the pass game, which is huge. In 2021, Duvernay showcased his talent by earning Pro Bowl and first-team All-Pro honor. Despite being selected for another Pro Bowl in 2022, his averages slightly decreased to 11.9 yards per punt return and 25.5 yards per kick return. The Jaguars were well aware they were acquiring an explosive player capable of making significant contributions on both offense and special teams. They did the right moves to help make this offense better. We've seen glimpses of success and high offensive production with this team and Trevor Lawrence, but now during the offseason, the front office has really prepared him for a season that should see much better offense than last. The Jaguars' disappointing finish to the 2023 season, where they only managed to win 3 out of 9 games, can be attributed to several factors. One significant issue was decline in both the run game and run defense during the final 6 weeks of the season. Jaguars running back saw a decrease of 26.5 yards per game on the ground, while the defense allowed an additional 44.4 rushing yards per game from weeks 13 to 18 compared to weeks 1 to 12. To address concerns on the defensive line, Jacksonville made key moves, including signing Pro Bowl center Mitch Morse, a veteran of 9 years with the Bills and Chiefs. Morse's addition replaced the struggling Luke Fortner, with Morse ranking 14th in pass block win rate last season compared to Fortner's 31st. Additionally, Morse did not allow a sack, while Fortner allowed 4.5. Adding depth, the Jaguars drafted offensive tackle Javon Foster from Missouri in the 4th round. On the defensive side, the Jaguars made significant signings in draft picks, including former 49ers defensive tackle Arik Armstead, and drafting defensive tackles Mason Smith in the 2nd round and Jordan Jefferson in the 4th round, both of them being from LSU. Armstead is known as one of the NFL's premier defensive linemen when healthy. He'll join nose tackle Devon Hamilton in the starting lineup. Armstead's presence also brings interior pass rush threat, as he recorded 5 sacks and 20 QB pressures in 12 games last season, as well as his career total of 33.5 sacks. This addition will help leverage pressure on edge rushers Josh Allen and Trevon Walker. The Jaguars had a few areas that they needed to address and overall made this team a lot stronger entering next season, so it'll be interesting to see how this offense progresses during training camp and throughout this season. If you guys made it this far and you haven't already, make sure you go down below and you hit the subscribe button and you turn the post notification bell on so you never miss a Jags video or any video at all. Leave a comment of what you're looking forward to next for the next NFL season, and I'll see you guys in the next one.